Welcome to episode 2, Squared Circle Spotlight. Hopefully you checked us out last week in our inaugural episode. We're on YouTube, we're on Spotify, we're on Instagram. Check it all out. If you haven't seen episode 1, go in there, watch it now. Like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. We got a bunch of stuff on our Instagram, clips from the shows, memes, reels, and all the episodes will go up on YouTube and Spotify as well. Same name, Squared Circle Spotlight. So check us out there. With that, I am your podcast visionary, your podcast architect, Joe Shortino. And I will hand it over to the man on my left, the Cowabunga Kid himself, Jeremy.
Cowabunga dudes. What's going on, everybody? Hope you enjoyed our little episode, our first ever episode from last week. We got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight, some good, interesting topics. We're going to see what goes on with that, and then we're going to get you guys to learn a little bit more about ourselves. So I hope you enjoyed tonight's cast. Philippo.
Okay, I am your technically inept wrestling proficient fan that will be bringing you my point of view on all things wrestling hilarity. That was terrible. Sorry. We go again.
Yeah, no, keep this.
No. It's all right. That's all good. We'll keep it moving. We'll do a little warm up here. We if you watched last week, we did a little get to know you with our favorite matches. This time we'll spice it up a little bit with a little game of Would You Rather. So tonight's Would You Rather. Would you rather take a 1-minute stinky face from Rikishi or spend the night with Mae Young a la Mark Henry? Choose wisely. Jeremy, you're first.
That's rough, dude. That's like picking a giant douche versus a turd sandwich.
We're talking intra-match Rikishi, not pre-match, not post-match shower, right during the match.
Well, I'm not dealing with Rikishi. I would be the Rikishi here. Oh, wait. Never mind.
You're giving Mae Young stinky faces?
Yeah. Oh, God. That's off the table, right?
Jeremy did have a thing for large women.
No, I did not.
To be fair, Jeremy did spend an evening with a lovely lady who was Rikishi-esque and asked her if it was stinky for you. So that did happen. So you giving Mae Young a stinky face was not out of the question.
Yeah.
It's more likely to happen than not to happen.
No, I don't think so anymore. I grew up, I think. Yeah, I'm sticking with that. So, yeah, back to our topic. Rikishi, stinky face, or a night with... Which one was it? Does it really matter? I mean...
Mae Young or Moolah, could be both if you want, if you really want to spice it up.
Moolah turned out
well, that would make it easier, but I'm going the ladies. I'm sorry, I'm doing it. I'm not going down, but I'm doing the ladies. I'm not taking that stinky face from Rikishi. No, sirree. I feel like I'll taste it for a month. I feel like that smell will never fully go away unless I burn my skin off. And I'm not doing that. So, no, I can't live with the fact that I had a sweaty man ass in my face. I'm going the ladies.
All right, Charlie.
This is a tough one. Because both are incredibly vile and disgusting. But I am going to have to agree with Jeremiah and say Mae Young. I just can't get the idea of that big, brown, monstrous ass in my face for even 30 seconds. Sorry.
I'll second. Once it makes contact with skin, I'm done.
I don't know.
All right. So for me, 2015, Joe would have been all over the Mae Young night, a night out on a Saturday I'd ended up with a Mae Young, but I think 2025 Joe um is going
Take a
Rikishi.
mama.
I will take 1 minute of stinky Simone ass in my face for a minute as opposed to spending an entire night a la sexual chocolate with Mae Young. So yeah, I'll go the opposite. I'm going Rikishi. I mean, it'll be stinky, but I'll power through it for the better of
Now,
me.
here's a better question. Do you tell your friends?
I mean, listen, if it was the Mae Young night, I'm talking all night about it. It's definitely we're leaving with a story.
Yeah, we're leaving with a story.
Absolutely.
All right, that was our little icebreaker. Hope you enjoyed it. We're gonna jump into our first segment here, the hot tag, where each week we will talk about three of our top favorite things. Each week we'll change the topic up. So last week we talked about our favorite matches, and this week transitions very nicely from talking about Mae Young, to who are your top three favorite divas, and must be pre 2005. We're not going modern, keeping it nostalgic here. So
Yeah,
you got to go pre
we don't want to
2005.
be some old creepy
Yeah.
weirdos. Can I go first? That's a nice palate cleanser because I still got Rikishi's ass, and Mae Young's crotch image in my face. Um, I can do this. I can do this pretty easy. Trish, Lita, Stacy, in that order, um, for obvious reasons. But
I mean,
I think
it,
those are. Go ahead.
your criteria for favorite is whatever you want it to be. So use your imagination. Whatever you want your favorite to be, that's why it's your favorite.
Okay, well, Trish, it's definitely her diplomatic skills. Lita would be her deep philosophy on Hebrew studies, and Stacy Keebler, her sexy ass legs.
Fair. It's fair. Jeremy.
Well, out of that one that Charlie just gave, made it really hard to top or
Whoa,
change anything. But yeah, his number three, Stacy Keebler, those legs. Whew.
got you a
And
little hard
as I
there.
was reminded before earlier, she was a cheerleader for the Baltimore Ravens. Thank you, Charlie. Um, Second, Trish. Yeah, she was really good with diplomacy, as he was saying. She had quite the way to convince you of whatever. She started
Nice.
out as a
That
heel, so.
that actually made
Um,
sense.
and then lastly, I got to go Tori Wilson. I mean, Lita's right there, but Tori, I just found her more appealing and more
And her
memorable in certain role matches. The puppies.
and her
Yeah.
good linguistics.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right, I will switch it up a little bit because you guys probably all would have picked pretty much the same thing. So I'll change mine up a little bit and I will go way back. I think this one was in my list anyway because I like a little crazy. I like a little messy. I'm gonna go Sunny. So
No can say that.
that's fair. I think she's in prison right now, but back in the day, peak Sunny was like 96. And that LOD 2000 Sunny, I have that poster on my wall. So that was peak Sunny for me. So yeah, going that one, a little crazy. With my second one, I will steal one that you both shared, and I think this will probably be our number one overall. Going with Stacy, since we all said her. So I'm going Stacy as well. Yeah, and she transcended wrestling. She dated George Clooney. I don't think any of those other divas did that. So props to her. And then I will go because Charlie hates ECW. We'll go the Queen of Extreme, Francine. A lot of people hated ECW along with Charlie, I learned on Instagram. So fair, but I will go with that. And there was a DVD I had when I was a kid, like 15 or so, maybe in like eighth grade or something like that. ECW's most hardcore moments, and there was Francine getting a pile driver from Tommy Dreamer, and some cheeks might have come out. So I spent a lot of time paused on that. Um, so yeah, that scene got a lot of play in my household. So Queen of
So did
Extreme
the Windex
Francine.
and the washcloth.
Yeah, it might not have been a long time. It might have been like 5 minutes at that point, but yeah, yeah. All right, that was our hot tag. Um, Next, we'll jump over to our merch table segment, where Charlie will take us through some memorabilia, collectibles. You got a lot of stuff, so I'm gonna hand it over to him.
Table is more about just having fun with some of the crazy, wacky items that we collect as wrestling fans. So we're gonna start it off with WWE as F at the time, but from Arkansas, it's Phineas Godwin. There you go.
Why
Now,
does
who
he
would
kind of
it?
look? Oh, one second here. He
That's
kind of
realistic.
looks like he works in any pizzeria in New Jersey. If you just look at his face, that mustache, the hair, he looks like a guy who works in a pizza shop. Now that I see it close up.
I can see it, I
Yep.
guess.
Just give him
Okay.
one of those long pizza shovels and everything, and he's set.
Well, if Joe, if that guy works at a pizza shop, where the hell does this guy work at?
That is
Oh my
horrific.
God.
If you answered anything other than hell, I think you would be wrong because first of
That's
all,
horrific.
I had to take a minute just to check to make sure this was in my old wrestling pile, not something else, because it looks like a horror thing. But no, it's a gangrel, monstrous looking vampire. And what makes it even more creepy is if you hit this button in the back, well, sweat comes out.
Ugh.
And
Who
that
doesn't
is
want
terrible.
that?
So let's talk through this for a minute. There's Gangrel, whose character is a vampire.
Uh,
First of all, a kid wants to play with a toy that sweats. And then secondly, like you couldn't give him like blood coming from his mouth or something like that. He's a vampire.
right?
Instead,
Right?
let's make him sweaty.
They have a cool entrance. They could have done so much stuff with that, but no, no. Eh.
We're gonna make him sweat.
All right.
I was preparing kids
So,
for when they get older.
all
Jeremy,
right.
don't
So,
elaborate on that.
yeah, we're gonna transition to WCW, and just to give you some, put things in perspective. This is what WCW was producing in the early '90s. We'll start with Kevin Sullivan, Kevin Sullivan, aka the Taskmaster. I think it's Taskmaster, Kevin Sullivan. It's that hard LJN, barely WWE did these in like the 80s. I think I have a like Nikolai Volkov of these. And then my piece de resistance for the week, the creme de la creme of African American action figures. Not Booker T, Stevie Ray. Look at that. Look at that. You could pay. I could sell this to Jeremy for $50 today.
Dude, I no.
Jeremy, I know
No.
what you're
But
thinking.
no, in all seriousness, these are terrible. They hardly move. He could probably do a power slam and like 69 with the guy. I don't know. But at least the crunchies they could crunch and at least this guy sweats.
I think I'll take a sweat toy over the WCW hard rubber guys. I have a
But
question. Why on earth do you own a Stevie Ray and not even a Booker T? Why just a Stevie Ray? Were you a big Stevie Ray fan as a kid?
um, yes, I was a huge Stevie Ray fan as a kid. He's under he's underrated. He Have you ever listened to a Stevie Ray promo?
I don't think I know one. No.
Dude, they're brilliant. They're brilliant. I urge anyone listening, go back if you could find one, watch
Don't.
it, and,
Do
and
not.
then maybe you'll be
I'll
asking
never
me
get
for
that
this
time back.
action figure again. But I
And
have it because he's awesome. That's why.
I would definitely take the Taskmaster, Kevin Sullivan. I know we talked about it before. Who would you rather have? I'm changing to Kevin Sullivan because he led the Dungeon of Doom against Hulkamania.
That's true.
And my one of my favorite WCW segments when Hogan enters the Dungeon of Doom. I don't know if you remember this.
Oh,
When
this water's not hot.
there's no Hulkamaniacs here. Terrible, terrible, peak terrible WCW.
So bad.
All
So
right.
wait, who wins merch item of the week? Is it Phineas, Sweat, or Taskmaster, or Stevie?
We're just gonna call him Sweat.
I'm gonna go for product based on product quality. I'm gonna go Gangrel because he does stuff. He sweats, right? The other
He
ones don't
does.
do
He does
anything.
sweat, and he will scare the shit out of you.
But
Just ask it.
It's a multi-purpose toy.
based on pure wrestling ability and promo skill, I gotta go Stevie Ray. That's top figure right there. Not many
Yeah.
people own a Stevie Ray because they've all sold out over the years. So
Oh yeah, these are hard.
Stevie
These are
Ray.
hard to come by. They're hard to come by. Only seven of these were made.
Jeremy,
Is that now
you
your
gotta make
heirloom, Charlie?
Yeah, it is.
that's your Stevie Ray down to your kids. Jeremy,
Uh,
what was your pick?
I'm going Sweating Growl.
Sweat
Just
Gang Girl for the
because.
win.
All right. So Sweat King Grail takes it home.
Yeah, that is
All right.
horrifying.
That was our little deep dive on the intercontinental title. This week we'll do similar to the deep dive. We're going to take a little spin on it. So uh, we're going to start a new segment called Hollywood Reviews. Our man Jay Hollywood, you may know him as outside of this podcast, often going by that moniker. He's going to review a match he's never seen before. So I think he said it on the last episode. He's a little bit of a casual fan, and this match was probably when you were like 2 years old anyway, or something like that. Um, so we are going to live watch and review a match. Jeremy kind of leading the way here. And we're going to start with a good one. So if you want to follow along, if you go on Peacock, we have WrestleMania 7. It's the sixth match in, about 56 minutes in. We have Jake the Snake versus Rick the Model Martel. And yeah, you called it a blindfold match. Phenomenal. So if you want to, you can give you a minute here to pull that up and we will jump right into that video. Let me turn my sound down so it's not playing
Oh,
in the background here.
there we go.
Oops, wrong way. Sorry. Technical difficulties.
See, I have the
So,
video set up and I have it started where they start the match already.
okay, so I'm still in the preview here. So let me take you through a little background. You guys can pause it and I'll catch up here. So the history of this match was Jake the Snake was on the Brother Love show, uh, doing a promo, and Rick the Model Martel comes out with his atomizer. If you don't know what that is, it's a thing they used to spray perfume back in the day. I've never seen one in real life actually use this. I only know Rick Model Martel, and that's why I know it's called an atomizer. And his cologne was called Arrogance.
Oh wait, can I guess?
So,
I
oh,
want
you
to
got it,
guess.
you got it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sorry. I should have given you the
Don't
guess.
go. Don't
So he
go.
was spraying arrogance, but he was attempting to spray arrogance on Jake the Snake Damien, which would have permanently blinded the snake, apparently. So Jake the Snake dives in to make the save. He gets blinded by arrogance, the cologne. Why this was a cologne that could possibly blind you is mind boggling. But Jake gets sprayed, and Jake sold it well. He went multiple weeks pretending to be blind. He had white contacts in, he couldn't see. So this all led to a WrestleMania match between Jake and Rick Martel, and to even the odds, they both had to wear blindfolds. So yes, it is as bad as you thought it would be if you've never seen this match. I know this is
Can we
new for
just say bag
Jeremy.
on the head?
Yeah, it's so let me give a description of this match and see if it sounds like something else. Two men who are half nude getting handsy while wearing masks. So there's that. Um, full black masks
Thank
on the
God it
whole
was in the
time.
90s. Oh, wait, this was the 80s, wasn't it?
No, this was 90s. This is WrestleMania 7, so
Ni-
1992.
1991. 91.
91. There you
Uh,
go. Yeah,
I was
91. So,
4.
so without further ado, we will jump into this match. Jeremy, I want your honest reviews at the end of this match. You're going to give it a 5 star, or you're going to give it a star rating between 1 and 5. So we want Hollywood's official review on Jake the Snake versus Rick the Model Martel.
All right,
Let's
so
do it.
where mine starts, he goes after them where they're on the floor in the very beginning.
Go ahead, jump right into it.
All right, there's two men literally crawling around the ring looking for each other, and one trips over another. Right? Pin. Exciting. All right, the guy found him. He's punching him finally.
To
All right,
be
keeping
fair,
that.
what Jeremy's saying here is about 99% of this match. So
I threw him to the ropes. He went out of the way. He's frustrated about it. He's looking for each other. All right, they're in opposite corners. All right, we're flashing forward. He's got him in a headlock. He throws him to the rope, bumps into him. He falls out of the ring. All right, this is going to be fun. How are you going to
to
get
be
in there?
fair, most of this match is two guys crawling around the ring, attempting to grab each other. Uh, but I do think Jake could probably see through his match. I think
Yeah,
Joe was actually blind in this match.
he pull at the beginning of the match. He pulls like
Yep.
and you can see him look through
He
it.
has a chair. He's looking for him. He's warding off, I don't know, predilections of Vince McMahon. He can't find him.
I think the biggest
Yeah.
move in this match was the hand
He
point.
backed
There was
into
a
the
lot
ring.
of
Oh,
this.
he hurt his hands hitting the ring with the steel chair. Oh, he found him. He's pulling him into the ring. He hit him in the
So,
balls, I guess.
so Jeremy, I want your prediction. Who do you think is going to win
Power
this match?
slam. Jake. Jake the
Jake
Snake.
wins. He wins with a power slam.
No, I'm just saying he probably wins.
What percentage do you think that they could see through the mask?
100%. I think it's two grown men pretending to be blind.
Yeah,
I'm
hundred
not.
percent.
I'm watching it here. I think Jake could see, but I'm literally seeing Rick Martel. I really feel
Where
like Rick
are
Martel
you?
can't see a thing. I see
I
Rick
think Rick's
Martel
just.
kicking around the ring.
I think he's just a better worker,
And there
bro.
he goes. Oh, he pretends to, he falls into him. He's waiting for him. DDT. There you go, baby. That's it. Game over. How the hell do you not know where he is? You just DDT'd him. Come on. This is overselling. This is 100% overselling it. There you go.
So to be,
There's three. All right.
so it was a one move
Uh,
match essentially.
Right.
I mean,
I'd
you
give
did
it
get Jake
4 or
into
5 moves at max. He power slammed him, Boston Crab, the DDT. I feel like the bump
Wait,
and then
how
throw the rope was a move.
how many stars did you
Why?
give it?
I didn't even rate that. I have to rate
Oh,
this?
so give your
Really?
analytical opinion of this match.
Whose idea was it?
To make this match or to watch it?
Yes. No, whose idea was it to make it? I'm watching it for everybody else's enjoyment and giving my honest
probably
outlook on it.
Vince.
I mean,
What
Jake was blind.
other drugs was he on? Yeah, let's
They
do
needed
that
to
match. I love it.
they
Wow.
needed to make it even. Jake couldn't see, so the logical explanation is
Yeah.
let's put two guys in blindfolds in a wrestling match.
You want to take this match from horrible to all time horrible. Watch it with no audio. At least with the audio, you have like the crowd cheering, like go
It's
that
true.
way, go that way. Without the
And you know
audio, it really looks retarded.
It was
it's
god
absolutely
awful.
horrible. And what's crazy is if you do watch this with the sound on, so watch this doing the research. The crowd was going crazy for this match.
Yeah, they
It's
were. They were
insane.
into it.
The crowd was loud and they were cheering. Yeah, exactly like I said. They're cheering for Jake where to go. Crowd is into this match, which is
Nick
absolutely insane to me.
Nick Gage has to legally like die in a match for the fans to be pleased. These guys put fake blindfolds on and crawl around and they're happy. Who's the mark?
This would be like, imagine doing this today. What would the reaction be today? That's like putting Bray Wyatt and who would be Rick the Model Martel? Bray Wyatt and Miz in a match with
Yeah, Miz.
with blindfolds.
No, it's
Who
a
would watch
match where they gotta walk upside down and that's it. That would be the match for them.
So yeah, it would be absolutely horrible. I mean, Bray did have a couple weird matches like that lights out match, but this is uh
Yeah,
this is pretty terrible. So Jeremy,
it's an all-time stinker.
much like some famous analysts, I want you to give a star rating on this match and explain why you give it that rating.
I'm going 2 and that was god awful. And I know you guys very well, and I know you're gonna dig up some better ones. So I can't say one as the lowest. Can I give 0 stars? I need to know that. Start now. 0 stars allowed.
This is Hollywood reviews. You can give a negative if you want. You can. You're free to share star ratings for any. You can give a 2 and give
Oh
another one
yeah.
2. So whatever you want. This is your call.
All right, I'm still sticking with a 2 to start that as my gauging of bad. If there's god awful, God only knows how well it will go.
Oh yeah, there's some
That's
fun ones out there. We'll get
very that's generous.
to. Yeah,
That's
I'm gonna give it.
generous.
I'm giving it about a half. Even back then, I probably gave it about a half.
You know
Yeah,
what?
we
Zero
got some.
stars. Screw that. I'm not giving it stars because I can only imagine. I don't want to give this stars, and I
2 to
don't want to
0.
know what to expect.
As we go along, Jeremy will flush out the rating system and like how he
I'm gonna
You
critique it
ascribes
gotta.
to what
points.
I think for that day. I'm sorry. I'm changing it up.
So you gotta have some criteria for it. So let's talk about match psychology. What would your rating on the match psychology be?
Like
The
whose
storytelling
idea
of
it
the match.
was and every the
No, the
storytelling
storytelling in the match.
from what the it was all right. I mean, for
Yeah.
the fact that the crowd got into it was, I get it. Being in that moment, probably exciting. Like, yeah, get him, you blind bastard, get him. So
And
they
then you
were
got
into
things
it. The
like
storytelling of what you guys told me, I get the concept. It's not bad. From somebody just walking in and seeing that, not knowing the whole backstory. All right, what drugs did you take to think of this would be a good idea? Like what hillbilly barnyard dumb like fire pit madness is going on tonight?
so this was a tough one to start with, to be fair. Charlie and I discussed this one a little bit. We were torn between doing uh the blindfold match or Judy Bagwell on a pole. But I felt like I watched some
Oh,
of the Judy Bagwell on a pole match. There was some actual wrestling in that. It's a ridiculous premise, but we started with a little bit of a tougher one. So we'll give you some more fun ones. We got Judy Bagwell on a pole. We got Viagra on a pole. We got a lot of WCW matches had a pole involved in them. So there's probably a bunch we can
well,
pick from there. Um, or even we can do the whole NWO WCW sold out pay-per-view if you want. But yeah, that was an interesting match to start with. So thank you, Jeremy. So we're going officially 0 stars.
Yes, settle stuff.
0 stars for Jake the
you're
Snake
sure?
and Rick
You're sure?
DeMarvin.
You're logging that in it?
Yep.
Okay.
We're
It
going 0.
can only get worse from
Sorry,
here.
Jake.
I gotta
It could get way
can,
worse.
can I give a counterpoint real quick? Yes, 0 stars because again, it's two men crawling around on their hands and knees. But if you're Jake or Rick and you're like taking this around the circle, it's a night off every night. You do the same routine. You don't really bump. You crawl around. It's like I would love to do it as a wrestler. It's a
Oh
night
yeah, from
off. You
that
don't.
concept, yeah.
And
Yeah.
But from
and you know
somebody
it's
me, I don't know all that. I'm looking at this from an outside perspective.
Yeah.
it's a WrestleMania match, so they're getting paid more. And
That's
this was like
that.
one of the
Yeah.
and it's a high profile. This was one of the high profile matches on that card. Can you name another? I know the main event, but can you name another match on that card?
Me, no. Oh
Uh.
yes.
Yeah. I think. Demolition versus Haku and Andre.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm just saying the match before was Nasty Boys and the Hart Foundation. The Nasty Boys won the tag team title. So that's how, that was what the pay-per-view was. And this was a high profile match on there where they got paid a lot of money to
Yeah.
do absolutely nothing.
Right.
So
You
fun
gotta look at
match.
it both ways.
All right. That was Hollywood Reviews, our in-depth look at the blindfold match. Thank you, Jeremy. It was a riveting match we got to watch there. We will
It
now
would have been
move
better
over
if it was
to
a woman's match blindfolded. Then I would have been more intrigued.
So you're sticking with the theme of the episode here. Very nice.
Yep.
Uh,
Huh.
we're going to jump into our gimmick of the week. Last week we covered the Repo Man. This week we have one that's a little bit unexpected, and I'm going to hand it over to Charlie in a second. Did not know about as much about this gimmick until Charlie started sharing some videos with me, and yeah, definitely deserves the respect to this person very much. but this definitely deserves to be here. So, Charlie, I will hand it over to you.
Okay. I think this gimmick, right? It also depends on your age level. Because if you knew this person before, I don't know about uh I think Joe, we talked about this when Dusty Rhodes first showed up on the WWE, he was just like a guy with polka dots. I didn't know, the legend of Dusty Rhodes and how he was this great NWA champion and all this. But I thought he was just this polka dotted wrestler. But this gimmick is horrible. Vince truly, more props to Cody because he hates that family. Um, these are the vignettes to introduce a character, and WWE they're famous for their good production. They do have some good vignettes to introduce characters, and so some champion, um, huge star, sold out buildings. You strip that away and you make them clean shit out of a toilet bowl, pump gas, worked at a deli, make sorts of beat my meat and can't beat these meats and and just the slight. I'm sure Bruce Pritchard had to like beg him, just like, hey, at the end, hey, are you that guy? Just to kind of like, for the people that know it's Dusty Rhodes. But what a smack in the face to Dusty Rhodes. What a smack in the face to any fan of like NWA, Jim Crockett, uh, Florida Championship Wrestling. And that's Vince 100% saying, I don't give a shit what you did before you got here. I'm gonna humiliate you and then see what I'll do with you. And I think that gimmick was
So,
meant to make a joke out of him.
Whose idea was it to
yeah,
pull a
so
toilet out of the room?
so let's talk about
What?
these vignettes for a minute.
All
Let's
right,
talk about these vignettes for a minute. We have a few different ones.
let's
There's
do it.
even one more I found. I didn't because you sent me on a rabbit hole of watching these Dusty vignettes. There was one more where he was actually a garbage man. I guess that was one of the more famous ones, but I never saw it.
Yep.
So we have the first one. I clipped it on our Instagram as well. The plumber, where very interesting. He comes into a plumber, and the first thing I text Charlie when I watched the video is you go into the bathroom, and Dusty goes in there to unclog or change a toilet, like Jeremy said. I don't know why he changed the toilet, but he went in there to unclog it, and it looks like there's actual shit in the toilet. It actually looks disgusting. And I would not be fully surprised if Vince actually shit in there before they filmed this.
And right in light of recent things that have come to light, I'm pretty sure Vince took that shit himself.
He absolutely did.
The
Just to make
guy
it
left
worse
it
for
up for
Dusty, too.
Decker too.
So we had that one. Then we had one. What was the next one you sent me? That was it the Pizza Man one or was it
Oh
the what
God,
was
yeah.
Uh,
Americana Gas? So he's a gas
yeah,
station attendant talking
it just
about
says his shirt just says gas on it. Did you realize?
so
Americana
for anybody
gas.
that hasn't seen it, it's just a plain white Hanes t-shirt. It looks like he took a ballpoint pen and just wrote the word gas on it.
Yeah,
100% did.
and
And
and again, go. I'm sorry, Joe. Go ahead.
no, go ahead.
And you could just tell Vince with the childish humor, which she's known for. Let me check that dipstick, baby. Are you the kind of girl that gets her dipstick full? I can't do it, Dusty. I won't even try. But I mean, it's just like I said, anything that Joe Joe nails it. Vince has the mind of a 14-year-old. Uh, like he likes fart jokes and he likes boobies and
And
shitting on
so there
people.
was another one. Next one, he goes as he's a pizza man, and he delivers
Oh
pizza to a
God.
young lady. And if anybody remembers what was on the pizza she ate, I'll give you a billion points because it's pretty strange as well.
I know.
Jeremy, what was
One
on it?
was anchovies, and the other was pig's feet.
Yeah, pig's feet and pig snout. Look at that. Hey, that was good. Billion points for Jeremy. Yeah, so he's delivering pizza to a young lady as well. So he does that one. Then I think this was my favorite just because of how stupid he looked. Uh, he worked in a taco shop, Americana taco shop. So fits perfectly in with the times. We have the Gulf of America now, so we also have Americana Taco Shop. Uh, this is he's mispronouncing
Trademark.
Mexican. So that was a good one. And then we had obviously the famous quote you were talking about, where he's a butcher. Charlie, would you like to share that famous quote to end that
And
segment?
nobody beats nobody beats my meat.
You can beat my prices, but you
Oh,
can't
but
beat my meat.
I'm sorry, Joe. Those vignettes left a delible mark on me and scarred me a little bit.
I swear to
They
God,
were
him selling it though, nothing
Oh,
screams 70s cocaine magic right there
no,
with that persona.
I take this away from it. Wow, Dusty's charismatic. He could turn anything into gold. There's a
Yes.
reason why a guy that looks like that was over like Rover. He has it. I mean, Vince literally tried to take any job
Humiliate.
he thought was demeaning, anything that he could think was demeaning, make fun of him, have like a fat guy wearing a shirt that says gas. Yeah, I know he's working a gas station, but cleaning up shit. And the lady acknowledges she took a huge shit too. Yeah, whoa, that was big.
Come look at
Um,
this. Show me what you got here.
no, but just like he overcame it, and and you liked him, especially with the car station. The when it's like, I love this guy.
Yeah, and that's the thing. He was so charismatic, and there's again watching doing some research. A lot of people said that Vince gave him that because he knew he could overcome it, so he wanted to challenge him. I don't think that, but that's one of the other points of view on this. He definitely hated it, Steve. Uh, and I want to
Absolutely.
jump
He was
into
doing that to save face.
one other thing with Dusty. I don't know if you guys want to touch on this a little bit here. We can talk about it. The Vince racism of the week in the gimmick of the week. How Dusty was paired with Sweet Sapphire, an African American woman that was a fan that was showing up to the matches, came out of the ring, and then they became I guess, a valet and wrestler, maybe a love interest. It was kind of insinuated a little bit, but that's not the racist part. That's the fine part. The racist part is what happens with Sweet
Oh yeah.
Sapphire. Charlie, you want to talk about that?
Well, our lovely sweet Sapphire, who by all accounts and purposes is not the most attractive woman in the world, starts receiving these mystery gifts and money and trips around the world from somebody, and she goes missing for Dusty's big match. What happens? She shows up with the $1 million man, and he claims, "I stole her. I bought her away from you, Dusty. I told you anything could be bought. Wait, including human beings?" Yes. So in the early 90s, Vince thought it was okay to buy human beings. The $1 million man owned Virgil and Sapphire. He had like a collection. It's
Owned two
terrible.
African American people. He owned Virgil and he owned Sweet Sapphire. And then we never saw Sweet Sapphire again. So I looked up what was the last segment you ever see Sweet Sapphire in, and it's literally just a picture of Sapphire ironing looking man money. So she's literally standing there with an iron, ironing his money, and that was the end of Sapphire.
Terrible.
So,
Terrible.
but yeah, Dusty eventually got that over one way or another. Again, like we were talking about, I thought when I was a kid, I thought Dusty was like a jobber. I didn't know exactly what he
Yeah.
was. So yeah, there's that. But he overcame and became kind of for the new generation was the coach at NXT for a long time and brought up a lot of guys that are in WWE right now, like Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, uh, Dean Ambrose when he was there. So he kind of coached those guys through NXT. The newer generation probably knows him from that, but that's where he started. That's why he's our gimmick of the week. Terrible vignettes. Well, he did very well with them. Terrible ideas for vignettes to get a character over. So
Terrible. Yeah.
Dusty Rhodes is our gimmick of the week. All right. So we talked about it
Good.
last time. What's that?
Keep the light on next time. That light.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Much brighter.
I said I'm technically I'm not proficient, but we're
What's
working
that?
on this.
What's that
It's okay in the
technology?
beginning.
It's
You
a
got a little
light
darker as we went.
switch.
Touche, Jeremy. It is just a light switch.
All right. We're going to jump into the segment we talked about last week. This will be a pretty quick one. We were supposed to do a stipulation this week, so we were going to make our picks for Money in the Bank. The loser of that, whoever makes the most correct guesses, gets stuck with a stipulation or a punishment, so to speak. But WWE is dropping the ball a little bit here. They don't have the full card for Money in the Bank booked out yet. I think actually Raw's on right now, so you have the last men's match, and I think we're still waiting on another women's match to determine who gets in. So what we're gonna do is this week I will post our picks once the matches are all decided. I'll post our picks on our Instagram page, and we'll review them next episode, and we will uh go through our stipulation here, and someone will be forced to do it. So our stipulation for our first one, we're going to start light. I think these will probably get a little bit better as we get more viewers. We'll get a little crazier with them, but we're going to start. This is a fun one. So the loser of this week's stipulation will have to cut the Steiner Math promo live on the show. So pretty fun one, but you got to do it like Steiner. You're not just saying it. You got to cut it like Steiner. If you want to wear chainmail on your head and sunglasses, feel free for that
Towel,
too.
it's cheaper.
More
You
power
wanna-
to you.
I mean, I don't have hair, but if I had some, you can also bleach your hair blonde if you want and go that full route. I would love to see Jeremy with blonde hair cutting a Steiner promo. That'd be phenomenal. So yeah, we're gonna make our Money in the Bank picks. We'll post them and then we'll review them on our next episode. And yeah, we'll see who faces the stipulation. And I'm gonna take a guess here. It's probably gonna be Jeremy. So get ready for a fun Steiner Math promo.
I'm doing
As
a
I said, you're
towel.
probably gonna be
I'm
wrong.
wearing a white towel around my head and just gonna put a band around it to do the chainmail. Unless you guys want to provide the chainmail, that's not happening.
I thought it was an option from it was either Steiner Math or With My Baby Tonight. Is that
Yeah,
now?
I mean, we could do that too if you want to pick. We had so we did have two we talked about. It could be you cut the Snyder promo, or you sing with my baby tonight, a la the roadie, live on the show. I
Spend my
figured that one was
days working hard on the go, put the hands on. I think I got that.
Charlie got that. I felt like that was a little harder because I don't know how comfortable anybody would be singing on the show. I mean, I think I'd be
I
okay
don't
with
think
it,
they
but I don't
want
know
me to
about you guys.
sing, so I'm cutting a promo if that happens.
No,
That's
you
simple as
you
that.
could
All right,
you could scream it.
Nope.
lead screamer.
Lead screamer.
Yes.
Jeremy used to
Lead
be
screamer.
a lead screamer in a band, so
In a band.
in our band. Not Charlie was our manager.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See how far we went?
All right, so we'll stick with the Steiner Math, and then we'll save the roadie one for next time. Um, we'll do roadie on the next stipulation for whatever the next pay-per-view is. I don't even know what's next, Evolution or something like that. So yeah, we'll dive into that on the next one. And then yeah, we've got emails. We have one, ironically signed by a man named Little Jimmy. So I don't know his actual name, Little Jimmy out there. So the
Little
question,
Jimmy.
I guess it's a R-Truth reference for this week. So sorry to see Truth leave.
I'm so mad about
yeah.
that one.
So the question this week is, book your favorite faction of any wrestlers living or dead in any promotion of all time. So what's your ultimate faction?
I need a backstory here on why that faction was created or something. I could pick
No,
one
you're
that
creating. You're making
I-
your own out of any amount of wrestlers you want. Make your own faction, any of all time.
I don't know. That's a weird one for me.
So I would say this is kind of a faction already, but wasn't really. They didn't like not on screen. But I think if anybody remembers or knows the backstory of BSK, Undertaker, and the group that used to play dominoes
Yeah.
backstage, I think it was called the Bone Street Crew or something like that.
Mhm.
That'd be cool to see. Maybe not as the characters they were. You had Undertaker, you had Henry Godwin, you had Yokozuna. I think Savio Vega was in there. There you go. Phineas was. Oh,
The Godfather in
like-
there.
yeah, he was. Yeah. So I think that would have been cool to see as an actor.
He loved making a break character anytime he could.
Or I would make I'd like to see that more of them as more serious characters, I guess. And then if I were making my own, I'll keep a fun one too. I'll go back because I love the gimmicks. I'll go my golden era gimmicks. It will be led by Skinner. So Skinner's the leader of the faction. He's your main eventer. So when I think of a faction, I like to have a main eventer, an intercontinental title guy, and a tag team, and maybe a woman throw in there too. So our main eventer in that one is Skinner, and then we're going tag team. It's got to be Techno Team 2000. So that's my tag team, and then intercontinental title guy, I will go Duke the Dumpster Drosy, and then for women, this was going to be one of my picks of top three divas, but changed it last minute. I'm gonna go Bull Nakano as the other one. So. Yeah, Skinner, the Techno Team 2000, Dumpster Josie, and Bull Nakano.
I got
I
one
like
now.
it. Go ahead.
For ironically, we talked about a match that they were all in back. That was one of the most iconic ones for my experience. I would have loved to seen like the Dudleys, the Hardys, and Edge and Christian all in a faction, and it was premised around just
That's
destroying
just called the
houses or something.
that's just called the tag team division.
No, them
Yeah,
all
that was literally
together.
that was the whole Attitude Era tag team division.
I'm
So
not
everybody,
saying they're in that era. I'm just saying as like
Uh,
any era period, it put them and they just like you could sell
can
that in
I?
the '90s. They just destroy houses.
True.
You had the um, weapons of mass destruction, didn't you? Earthquake and typhoon,
The natural
natural
disasters.
disasters.
natural disasters. Excuse me.
Weapons of mass
So
destruction would be a better name.
that would be
That
Muhammad
was the sign
Hassan,
and the Sheik.
Figure Ali Singh. Uh, um, so Jeremy, who is the leader of your faction then?
I'm gonna have to go Edge just
That
because he
makes
made it
sense.
further in their career and he more so independently and bigger than Christian. The other ones really didn't step away from one another. I mean, Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy definitely did delete, and all that stuff, but it was never the same because it wasn't on WWE. It was under not mainstream.
Ray Dudley hears this, he's gonna rant on you on his next show for about
I
30
love
minutes of
Ray.
respecting him.
I love Ray Dudley. Trust me, like him, he did a lot, but I still got to give it to Edge on after everything else he did with all the other gimmicks.
And add
Heel
Stevie Ray to that
turn
gimmick.
face, heel turn face.
Sexton Hardcastle.
Saxon Hardcastle, oh God.
Charlie, what's
That's
your
going
ultimate
back.
faction?
Okay, my ultimate faction is gonna be just a super smart group of intellects. It's gonna be the manager is gonna be Bobby the Brain Heenan. My IC guy is gonna be the Genius. My world title guy is gonna be Dean Douglas, and we'll find a way to put Damien Mizdow when he was the savior to like the whatever his catchphrase was. But it's a bunch of just guys
Yeah.
that they all had the same scholarly gimmick. They were smart.
Who's the leader you're
They're
doing?
very astute.
The leader's got to be Shane Douglas because I think Shane Douglas. I do not like ECW, but Shane Douglas was in WCW for a while, and he was pretty decent in there.
And he could
Oh, I got
probably
another.
actually beat up everybody else in your gimmick in your faction there.
What'd you
I
say?
got another idea.
What's
Oh
that? Go
God,
ahead.
what?
You get like Spike Dudley, you get Dink, you get Hornswoggle, you get all like the little dinky guys together and
Wait,
create a faction.
Spike Dudley was 5'8". He wasn't a
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
I'm not saying just little people. I'm saying like
You
the
could say that
reject of
more.
whatever team in a sense, like whatever triple or whatnot, like that
Oh,
person that always got even Crash
Abe,
Holly would be thrown in there or Shark Boy or Mad
Abe,
Mikey.
Abe Knuckleball Schwartz. Oh, I would also
He
make
short?
a sports team. I would get the Goon, Abe Knuckleball Schwartz. Who else do we have there?
Gilbert.
Was he a sport? He was a gym teacher in real life.
Gilbert?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's I don't care. The character he portrayed, you throw that in there too.
Oh yeah, here's a dweeb.
Well, in Jeremy's faction, it makes sense. And Charlie, your sports faction, I don't think that makes sense. You can throw in
They're
Steve
like
Mongo
the
McMichael if you want.
They're the
I
team
will.
that you play dodgeball against, and they're the team that never wins because everybody just pelts them immediately. No athletic ability. Their persona. I know they have athletic abilities. I'm just saying the persona that they sold during the WWE. That would be funny. Not necessarily
Look at now. I think
PC, but funny.
Hornswoggle whoops you in a fight. I'll just say that now.
Oh,
I'll get Brad
oh yeah.
Williams on him.
Dylan's definitely whooping Jeremy's ass.
I'll ask Brad Williams to defend my honor. If not him, I'm telling him to ask his wife because apparently she knows kung fu.
Who knows Kung Fu?
Brad Williams' wife, the little guy
Uh,
comedian.
uh, uh.
All right, we'll wrap it up there. Thank you guys. That was an interesting episode. I went all over the place. We did see a
Hey
blindfold
guys,
match, so there's that.
these are gonna get better. These are gonna get much better. We promise. We're finding our groove. Stay with us. It's worth the journey. I'm telling you, it's gonna get better. It's gonna get funnier, and you're gonna love it. I have a feeling we're gonna take you on a nice ride, especially the
Weapons of mass
Cowabunga brother.
destruction. Cowabunga Kid.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Right here.
Weapons of the weapons of mass
All right.
destruction. He just gave you and I a whole idea for a tag team you could run with. Anybody.
There you go.
Tony Khan, take notes.
All right. If you'd like to email us questions, it is squaredcirclequestions@gmail.com. Reach out to us. Anything you want to hear on a segment, any questions for our emails, feel free to do that. Check us out on Instagram, Squared Circle Spotlight, YouTube and Spotify as well. These will be up there too. Check it out and yeah, support us. We'll keep this going. We'll get more interesting. We'll give Jeremy Judy Bagwell on a poll next week. So,
Yeah.
all right. Thank you guys. Have a good night.
Thanks.